It was a sea of men of timber and caliber as the body of late Pharmacist George Ifeanyi Uzochukwu was laid to rest at Nkwe in Awgu Local Government Area of Enugu State on the 29th of November 2024. Late Pharmacist George, a brother to the former Enugu State Commissioner for Health, Hon.Dr.Uche Uzochukwu, before his demise, was a peace-loving personality, lived a life full of philanthropy, and was committed to the service of humanity. Until his death, he completed his basic and high school education, then gained admission into the School of Health Technology, Oji-river in Enugu State, where he was trained as a pharmacy technician. He then proceeded to the University of Benin, Edo State, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in pharmacy. Late George worked and retired as a director at the Enugu State Ministry of Health. After retirement, he went into community pharmacy, where he continued his medical service to humanity. Pharmacist George's interment began with a requiem mass at St. Peter's Catholic Church in Nkwe, then the commitment of his body to Mother Earth at his residence in Nkwe. Speaking to Ogama TV at the funeral, Ogbuefi Emeka Uzochukwu, the eldest brother to the late pharmacist, described his death as unfortunate and a big loss to the family, pointing out his peaceful and philanthropic nature as he prayed for a peaceful repose of his soul.
He was a very industrious, nice, in fact, all good virtues of life. He picked them. But the ones that are not progressive, he ignored them. In fact, he had it throughout his life till the day of his death. He had no enemy. During his working period, he was diligent in his work, friendly, and because he worked in the health sector, he had that empathy. Whenever he sees somebody in need, he tries to help. So he's a very generous, selfless human being. In fact, though we are burying him today as my younger brother, but I fear that the good Lord will receive him, because throughout his life he had no problem at all.
Also speaking, Hon.Dr.Uche Uzochukwu, an immediate younger brother to the late Pharmacist George, painfully narrated the cause of his unfortunate demise. He urged the rest of his family to take solace in the conviction that George has found eternal peace in heaven. Hon. Uzochukwu also extended his words of appreciation to relatives, friends, and associates who came to sympathize with the family, praying for their journey mercy back home.
Shortly before Christmas, we were notified of the fact that I had an ailment. And going to the hospital, she was diagnosed cancer of the prostate. And on doing the MRI imaging, it was confirmed he has cancer stage 4, which of course everybody who is in the medical practice knows that is a terminal illness. We saw the prognosis, it was quite bad, very poor prognosis, but we have to fight on, knowing that it's not over until it's over. We know that medical practice will do everything to cure, but healing comes from God. We put in our best, but at the end of the day, God said it's time for him to get back to his creator. And eventually, he passed out on the 25th day of July 2024. So today, we are doing the traditional thing, which is giving him the passage right, committing him to the Mother Earth, and asking God to take the repose of his heart into his bosom. And we are confidently sure that today he ascended to heaven, because our loss is a gain to the angels. So I'm happy today. It's a mixed feeling though. I'm grateful because I lost my brother from the physical realm. But I'm happy that he's gone to a better place to sojourn and stay with the angels. So I'm very confident that today he's in the paradise and he's going to watch over us. Commit us in prayers and make sure that we that are left behind here do not suffer pains and agonies for us to pass out, because eventually everyone's going to pass away. But our prayer is that when we want to pass away, we do a very, very sweet transition. We don't want to go through sorrowful transition. We don't want to go through pains, and we don't want to create problems for the people we want to leave behind. Our prayers is that at the appropriate time, that God, in His infinite mercy, is going to call us, and call us without any sorrow, without any. Because even if you die at 1:30, people behind will feel bad. But we don't pray that we're going to go through the agony of death. So what we're doing here today is giving him the passage right. He's pretty young, so we're not celebrating him. We are mourning, but we are still giving him the passage right, which he deserves. Man, when you talk about advice, I'm talking to myself. Because he's my family, he's my immediate elder brother. We grew up together, we played together, we had the back of each other together. We fought, we played, and we did everything together. So when you talk about advice for the family, I'm giving myself advice. My advice is that every one of us should take it that this is the will of God, and there's nothing we can do about it. We'll continue to look unto God for a better tomorrow. God that giveth, take it at the appropriate time. So for the children and for us, the immediate family, my advice is that everybody will find the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss, and that God will continue to give us the fortitude to withstand this, because they're a very faithful one indeed. So my prayers for everybody that came here today is that the good Lord will see that every one of us back home without any problem on the way. We're going to get back to our families that were left, and that the good Lord who brought them here will take them back safely. And that the way they came to me at my point of need, that people will come to them at their own point of need, that they will never be left wanted.
Eulogizing her late father, the eldest child of the late Pharmacist George, Miss Chidiogo Jessica Uzochukwu, described him as an angel. She prayed to God to accept his soul, as she urged her siblings to take solace in God.
My dad is a very nice, peace-loving, fun man, always ready to help and very disciplined. My prayer for him is that God accepts his soul into heaven, where there will be no more pain, but peace, happiness, and joy. And then for my siblings, that they should be strong, because he's with us and forever be with us and always be remembered.
Similarly, Miss Chisom Uzochukwu, the second daughter of the late Pharmacist George, described her father as a great man, pointing out his peaceful and caring attributes as she prayed for the peaceful repose of his soul.
My dad was a great man, a man who exuded such great virtues. He was peaceful, he was loving, he was caring, he was industrious. He was my role model. He taught me a lot of things, and I really miss him. But I pray that God grants him a happy repose.
Mrs. Ngozi Ora, a sister to late George Uzochukwu, expressed sadness over the tragic loss of her brother. She prayed for the peaceful passage of his soul to eternal glory.
N'afọ m ndị n'igwe na uche ndị n'igwe mere n'ebe nwanne m nwoke nọ, and obi jiri m aṅụrị, abidi m aṅụrị n'ihi na amatala m na ndị n'igwe zutere ya na ndị n'igwe kpọrọ ya. Nwanne m nwoke bụ George gbanwere ndụ si n'azọ nke ụwa wee pụọ, nwoke na-enweghị nsogbu nwoke obiọma, nwoke nwere okwukwe n'ime Chineke. Chineke gwara m wee sị na ọ dị mkpa mgbe ndị nke ya ga-anọ na mmehie nke ha amaghị wee fụ alaeze eluigwe anya, na ya nwa ga-ezute ha na ọ bụghị ọnwụ ka ha nwụrụ, n'ihi na ọ chọghị ka ndụ nke ya wee nwụọ na mmehie, na ọ chọrọ ka ha wee nweta alaeze eluigwe. N'ihi nke a, dịka nwanne m nwoke nwụrụ ọnwụ n'ụbọchị nke taata, ọ nwụrụ n'ime Kristi, m na-enwekwa n'ọṅụ na o nwere ọnọdụ n'ime Kristi, na o ketara alaeze eluigwe n'ime Kristi, ka mụ na ya si wee na-akpakọ n'ime mmụọ. Ana m asị ka Chineke onye mere ya etu a, ka ọ nara mkpụrụ obi ya na ndokwa, nabata ya na alaeze eluigwe, ebe ọ ga-anọ wee binyere Chineke wee luo na ndụ ebighị ebi.
In a condolence message to Uzochukwu's family, Chief Barrister Eze O. Eze, a relative of the deceased, extolled the sterling qualities of Pharmacist George as he urged the family to remain united as they navigate through the painful and tragic loss.
My advice is that they should continue their unity and their lights in this community. So God will continue to bless them. We won't have this type of death again in this family. No young man will die again. A situation where the mother is still living, it's painful to bury a child. So my sympathy goes to the mother. She should have solace in God. That's my prayers for them.
In the same vein, sympathizing with the family, Honorable Chief Charles Udono, a close friend of the pharmacist, described him as a philanthropist. He prayed to God to grant his family the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss.
Well, I used to know him years back at Awgu. When we were together there, he was working with the General Hospital, Awgu. So from there, he was transferred to Enugu, and then he later worked with Berkeley. He went to school and graduated as a pharmacist, and it was there that he retired until his death. He's from Nkwe in Awgu Local government area, and that's why we are here today. Well, my prayer is that God will grant him eternal rest. That's my prayer. And for the family, God will grant them the fortitude to bear the loss of this gentleman. The man is a gentleman and he's a philanthropist by excellence. So I know that the good works of a man after he has departed from this earth is that God will reward them by putting them in his paradise. So I know today that George Uzochukwu is with God in his paradise.
Present during his funeral rite was the Deputy Governor of Enugu State, Barrister Ifeanyi Uzochukwu, the PDP Enugu State Party Chairman, Dr. Martins Chukwunwike, member representing Aninri, Ogo, and Oji-river Federal Constituency, Honorable Anayo Ofebu, the Executive Chairman of Awgu Local Government Area, Honorable Uchenna Joseph Okolo, member Enugu State House of Assembly representing Awgu South Constituency, Honorable Tony Wankwo, Deputy Chairman, Awgu Local Government Area, Honorable Dr. Stanley Ezedoto, amongst many other notable personalities. Late Pharmacist George Ifeanyi Uzochukwu passed on to eternal glory at the age of 60 on the 25th of July 2024 and is survived by his wife, children, mother, brother, and sisters.
When you think of online TV and radio, broadcasting, media consultancy, event coverage, event management and planning, there's no better name than Ogama TV. But that's not all. We're also into photo studio and coverage, equipment rental, news blogging, fashion and pageantry, We are at number 5/21 Chime Avenue, beside Open Sheraton Restaurant, New Haven, Enugu. Follow us on our social media handles: Facebook at Ogama TV, Instagram at Ogama TV1, Twitter at Ogama TV, website www.ogamatv.com. You can also send us email at ogamatv@gmail.com. Ogama TV, your one-stop media solution.